And on the other side, you have the guy running in New York, Mdani, right? Okay, who's like a straight-up communist. I mean, he is. He talks about, the things that communists say. I mean, he wants free grocery stores, free buses.
Bill Maher just went off on Zoran Mdani, and it's honestly pure entertainment. The late-night provocator shredded the New York lawmaker's ultra-progressive vision, joking that Mdani's win might as well be a Republican campaign ad. Maher's takedown isn't soft. It's sharp, relentless, and wickedly funny. Blink and you'll miss something. Seriously, this one's popcorn-worthy.
Who's the most popular politician on the left?
AOC? I don't know.
One of, but who's Bernie? Bernie is
Bernie, yeah.
Bernie is. I mean, he's not a capitalist.
No, he's not, and he's also not president.
He's not. But
and never would be.
But neither is Mdani.
No, but he will. Trust me, he will be featured in the campaign commercials.
But they're going to feature people. They boogeyman everybody.
Yeah, but you don't have to boogeyman him. He does it to himself.
And he's not wrong. Republicans don't need to build a caricature of Zoran Mdani. He does it himself every time he talks. With Mdani inching toward a New York mayoral win, critics say his rise would hand the GOP a political gift. A giant neon sign proving Democrats have drifted into ideological fantasy. Mdani insists he's just a democratic socialist, but that reassurance only lands with his own crowd. Maher isn't buying it. To him, Mdani represents starry-eyed left-wing dreaming that sounds noble, but gives conservatives the easiest talking point on earth.
This must be horrible for a guy like you, who you spent your whole life talking about how government tries to do too much, which it does, and spends too much. And here you have Trump, who is the Republican, who is aggrandizing more power than anybody, as we just talked about. And on the other side, you have the guy running in New York, Mdani, right? Okay, who's like a straight-up communist. I mean, he is. He talks about, the things that communists say. I mean, he wants free grocery stores, free buses.
I want him to win.
You want him to win?
Yeah.
At first glance, Mdani's pitch sparkles like utopia. Shiny promises, magazine cover optimism, and buzzy slogans. But tug a little at the seams, and the fantasy quickly fades. People who've watched socialist experiments collapse know the story too well. It's history's cold rerun dressed up as modern progress.
I think every 20 years or so...
Wait.
We need every 20 years or so, we need a conspicuous, confined experiment with socialism so we can crack it up again. Socialist slogan used to be, workers of the world unite, you have nothing to lose but your chains. The new socialist slogan is, trust us, this time it won't be a mess.
Exactly. Socialist projects have crashed so many times that most people treat the ideology like a stove they burn their hand on. Except younger voters, drawn in by the glitter of fairness and free everything. But the problem isn't greed, it's human nature. People thrive on incentives, challenges, and rewards. Remove that and the engine stalls. Bureaucracy balloons. Creativity dies. Systems built for equality sink into waste and bitterness. Mdani's sweeping state-centered proposals look sweet on a flyer, but wobble in reality. Without freedom to build and compete, progress slows to a crawl. Equality turns into equal disappointment, not shared prosperity.
When the post-war Labour government in Britain was about to get started, one of their leading lights was a socialist named Nurian Bevan. He said, what could go wrong? He said, we have a nation bedded on coal, surrounded by fish. It would take an organizational genius to have a shortage of either. In 3 years, they had a shortage of both.
Britain proves the point. In the early 20th century, the country embraced socialist ideals with big promises of fairness and shared wealth. But once major industries moved under government control, productivity tanked. Prices soared. Innovation died. By the 1970s, Britain was dubbed the sick man of Europe. Only when Thatcher implemented market-driven reforms did the nation finally recover. A powerful reminder, good intentions can still tank an economy.
Beyond saying that we're going to make a sanctuary city for LGBTQIA plus New Yorkers, beyond saying that we're going to establish an office of LGBTQIA plus affairs, is also that we're going to provide $65 million in funding for gender-affirming care, the same amount of funding that the federal government was threatening to pull out from local providers for that kind of work.
And that's why Maher is sounding the alarm. He sees Mdani as a political trapdoor for Democrats, one that drops the party away from moderates who decide elections. Voters back Trump partly because they were fed up with left-wing overreach, especially cultural issues like youth gender-affirming care. Yet Mdani seems ready to jump straight into that fire again, championing fundraising for policies tied to those debates. To moderates who prioritize practicality over ideology, Mdani's blueprint isn't bold. It's a warning sign. Maher's concern is simple. Every time Democrats chase ideological purity, they lose the center. And the center is where elections are won. Mdani may excite the activist wing, but he risks alienating the millions who just want stability, not experiments. That's the political math Maher warns they keep ignoring.
He has attacked you personally and publicly like this.
He's not a socialist. He's a communist, okay? This is not a socialist, man. This is a communist.
I don't like to see a communist become mayor, I will tell you that.
I call him my little communist. He's my little communist mayor. We should never be in a position where we're talking about a communist.
We're going to end up with a communist mayor. It's not even believable, my beautiful New York. I think if a communist takes over New York City, I think that's a gift to the Republican Party.
Trump doesn't need to portray Mdani as extreme. Mdani does that job himself. He's floated ideas like government-run grocery stores and free, state-controlled transit across the city. He calls it democratic socialism, but the tone and the proposals echo the far-left playbook. Noble motives aside, the platform feeds the narrative that Democrats are inching toward full-blown socialism. If it looks like a duck and quacks like a duck, well, to critics, these ideas sound less like modernization and more like vintage ideology repackaged. It hands political opponents the perfect sound bites on a silver platter. Maher knows how easily such proposals become campaign ammunition, especially in a country still wary of anything labeled socialist.
This vision of democratic socialism, it's one that often comes back to what Martin Luther King said decades ago. A vision of, call it democracy or call it democratic socialism, there must be a better distribution of wealth for all of God's children in this country. Here in New York City, wealthiest city in the wealthiest country in the history of the world, 1 in 4 are in poverty. 500,000 kids go to sleep hungry every night. It's untenable to live with this kind of a divide. We have to actually have a politics that puts working people first.
Zoom in, and Mdani's message doesn't feel new at all. It's the same political poetry used for generations. Fairness, shared opportunity, prosperity for all, wrapped in stirring phrases and selective stats. But once power settles in, the romantic glow cracks. Policies pile up that smother ambition and slow achievement. America didn't grow strong through micromanaged dreams. It grew through freedom to compete, innovate, and build. Maher, beneath the jokes, sees the danger a mile away. He's watched this script unfold in other countries. Passionate promises turning into rigid systems that punish success. Mdani's speeches may sound fresh to younger voters, but the underlying model is older than they realize. Maher's warning isn't fear-mongering. It's historical recognition.
I want to speak to the memory of my aunt. Who stopped taking the subway after September 11th because she did not feel safe in her hijab.
Well, it wasn't so much his aunt as his dad's cousin, but, semantics. Douglas, is he ready to lead?
No, in absolutely no way is he ready to lead, and that was just another reminder of it. This is such a self-involved little narcissist with so little going for him.
And that's the strategy. Craft emotional, polished narratives to win hearts. Democrats have mastered identity-driven storytelling, and Mdani fits the mold perfectly. Symbolic, heartfelt, and wrapped in virtue. The party machine will adore him, but those looking beyond the soft-focus framing see a different picture. They know that poetic monologues aren't the same as real leadership. Mdani's narrative may charm idealists, but pragmatists see stagecraft, elegant, emotional, but hollow on substance.
But he even decides to turn the memory of 9/11 and the 3,000 Americans of that day into a story about his aunt and the subway. It's interesting, like so many things that this smarmy candidate does, he makes it about himself and it all turns out to be untrue anyway. It seems to the extent that he had any such aunt in question, she wasn't in New York at the time, and in any case, didn't wear the headscarf.
And that brings us to now. Mdani's glowing origin story doesn't shine as brightly under scrutiny. But in deep blue New York, loyalty often outweighs evidence, and he's likely cruising toward victory. The real suspense isn't if he wins, but what happens when campaign poetry collides with the brutal reality of running New York City. Slogans are easy. Governing chaos is not. Maher's alarm bells ring for a reason. If Mdani steers New York down the wrong path, the fallout won't stop at City Hall. It could reshape the Democratic brand entirely. And that wraps today's breakdown. If this hit the mark, tap like and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.